I thought we might talk about stress, hormetic stress in particular, because that's what dry fasting is. Hormetic stress is an entire being stress that causes it to be challenged and overcome it and become stronger for it. This is just a common thing in all of the kingdoms of all the life on earth. Stress makes you stronger. It just does. So the idea that stress is bad is, you have to say, what kind of stress? Is it anxiety stress? Is it nervous stress? Is it relationship stress? Is it all these other stresses that are making your mind blow? Maybe those can be not thought away, but the stresses we're interested in here are the ones that can be self-imposed, because these stresses are very interesting. Because once you self-impose a hormetic stress on the whole human body, which is what dry fasting is, it's restricting water and food for 5 to 7 days as a typical 7-day healing type dry fast. And it's quite a remarkable hormetic stress, because everything gets stressed. 37 trillion cells get stressed. So when you think of it that way, it's a system-wide stress. And system-wide stresses turn on stem cells. It takes specific chemistry to stop, to allow stem cells to wake up and regenerate. But once they regenerate and turn into transit amplifying cells, it's one way, man. You turn the stem cells on all over the body, all 220 niches at once with a dry fast. And it just goes where it's needed. And it's really interesting because this stress activates a type of response that initially releases mu cells, which are these very unusual stress-enduring pluripotent stem cells that come out of the fat cells, the bone cells, several other tissues, and about 3 to 5%, not a lot of them, just a few. Could be your, post-embryogenic period left inside the body to regenerate you if needed. But what happens is these immediately start differentiating and making all kinds of new cells, distributed by the vascular system, because they come out of fat cells, goes right in the vascular system. The stem cells flood through the body, these mu stem cells. Then, if you stay on the fast and you go through the daughter to transit amplifying to progenitor to differentiation, you end up with a situation where you have the 5 days necessary for that to happen within the 7-day dry fast. So you get the mu cells at day 3. At the end of the fast and near it, you're starting to get huge generations of brand new stem cells, which are repairing tissue and residing sometimes in those tissues, just pumping out their paracrine signals, making all the other cells act younger. Not necessarily differentiating, but potentiating adjacent cells. These stem cells are amazing. So to be able to hormetically induce in the whole body this particular stress to do this particular thing is remarkable, because stem cell therapy is expensive, man. If you check that out anywhere, you should. And this is something your body naturally does. You have to be careful. I read a book about it, Phoenix Protocol, and it talks all about this kinds of stuff. Another book you can get as well. But the point is, there's a way to do this where you can stress yourself for 7 days as if it's an emergency life situation your stem cells have to react to. And it's not really. It's not really. But it gives you the chemical signals to do it, because all the things are the same. Starvation, dehydration, new systems come on to start having fat for energy. All this stuff gets released. The stem cells start replicating. It's a great stress, system-wide stress, and it causes regeneration of tissue every single time. Anyway, that's the thing about dry fasting, is it does this for us. And it's one of these hormetic stresses that are unusually successful. You're challenged by these things, you survive them, and what's left is stronger. This is the same kind of individual stress that the species had all the time in environments and electromagnetic collapses and all sorts of stuff that happened, and novas, and all the things that happen for humans for 4 to 5 million. So, these are just stresses that the human body expects. It's like I've always said in neogenesis, it's probably going to eat everything, one bite of something, everything. Because there's some chemical in there that we've been exposed to in our genetic past, and it's probably good for something. We could be that integrated. I personally think we are, to be genetically able to look at the environment as we do in the form we take. We have an enormous amount of internalized coding that's been plugged in billions of years ago. Anyway, that's the message today. Hormetic stress is good. It makes you younger. It makes you young. I'm 71 to be 72 in a couple of months. I mean, come on, man. I jump around, I surf, I do all this stuff. It works, you know. I like it. So yeah, that's the trick. Dry fasting, hormetic stress. It's good for you, good stresses. Get rid of the bad ones. Just off they go.
Yes?
We have a message. Can you remind people to subscribe, please, sir?
What now?
Please.
Oh, very well.